Welcome back, IB Economics students, to this very important video lecture today on graphing the theory of perfect competition. Okay, we're going to be graphing the market structure of a perfectly competitive market and a perfectly competitive firm. So, some basic characteristics as a review. Within perfect competition, there are infinite amounts of firms and there are infinite amounts of buyers. Therefore, each firm does not have the power or ability to set prices. So the price for each good is set by the free market equilibrium. The free market equilibrium determines and dictates the price at which a good is sold at, seeing as how there are infinite amounts of buyers and there are infinite amounts of sellers. Therefore, each seller and each buyer does not have the ability to influence the prices. Therefore, that's what people call they do not have price setting abilities. So therefore, within perfectly competitive market structures, there is two planes. Okay, there is plane one and plane two. Within plane one, what we have is a free market equilibrium. Okay, so we have the price, and we also have the quantity. And this is just a standard free market equilibrium diagram where we have our supply and we have our demand. Okay, so this we the reason perfect competition graphs have two sides, which is because each firm is so small and firms do not have price setting abilities. Therefore, the free market equilibrium sets the prices at which goods are sold at within the firm. Seeing as how firms are so small and they do not have the ability to set prices directly because of their small sizes. Okay, so as we have seen before, the demand and supply graph from the free market equilibrium, which is plane one, would show that this is the price. Okay, so this line right here is the price. Okay, this is the free market price at which the goods should be sold at because of the equilibrium. If you guys do not understand what this graph is all about, you have to go back to review in the previous lectures. Right. So then we take this graph to our new theory of different or our new market structure graph, that of which would have our y-axis as price slash costs, and then our axis is going to be a quantity or output. Okay, so so it is a little bit different than the free market equilibrium, where the free market equilibrium is just price. However, within this new diagram, it's going to be price and price and cost, and instead of the x-axis only being quantity, it's going to be a quantity and output. Okay, so what does this line represent in this new diagram? What does this line actually mean in the new diagram? There's a few things that it means. The first one, of course, is the price. Okay, so we take the price directly from plane one, which is right here. So it's the price. It also equals to demand. Why is this demand? Because this demand is perfectly elastic. If you guys do not remember what perfect elasticity means, is that any changes in price would cause demand to either go to infinity or go to zero. Okay, so any decrease in price will cause the demand to go to infinity, and an increase in price will cause the demand to go to zero. So this is also equal to demand. It is also equal to average revenue. It is also equal to marginal revenue. Okay, average revenue. It is also equal to marginal revenue. So there you go. This is what the line that we directly gain from the free market equilibrium diagram. What it directly means when we translate it directly to the perfectly competitive market graph. Okay, so the next curve you want to be able to draw is Nike thing is the marginal cost curve. Okay, that doesn't look good. So the marginal cost curve is the curve that dips down and it dips up again. If you guys do not understand why the marginal cost curve has such a behavior, it is because of diminishing marginal returns and diminishing marginal returns, and that is of course a very important concept. If you guys don't understand this concept, you have to go back to review. We have done a video on this before, so please go back and review. So this is going to be our marginal cost curve, that of which will look something like that. So this is our marginal cost. So, if you guys remember the profit maximization point, okay, the point at profit maximization is when MC equals MR, when marginal cost equals marginal revenue. So this is the point at which firms want to produce at. This is the quantity at which firms want to produce. Red dot right here is the quantity and price at which firms want to produce at in order to maximize their profit. Okay, so the price is of course set by the free market equilibrium. However, the quantity is right here, that of which firms want to produce at in order to maximize their profit. And of course, firms are all profit maximizations, or most firms are profit maximizing. And the next thing we have to be able to draw is the average total cost curve. So remember, the average total cost curve intersects the marginal cost curve at its lowest point. So let's draw something like, oh, I don't want that. It intersects the marginal cost curve at its lowest point. So something like that. Something like that would be the correct marginal cost curve. Let's shift it down a bit. There we go. So that would be the correct average total cost curve. This would be the ATC curve. Okay. So from this, you may be able to see that this firm right here has supernormal profits. Supernormal profits means that the average total cost is greater. Average total cost is actually lesser than so income is greater than a cost. So as you can see from this line right here, this box that I am highlighting right here, this box right here shows that there are supernormal profits existing within the firm. Okay, so this blue box right here shows that there are supernormal profit existing in a firm. However, because there are no barriers of entry and there are no barriers of exit, new firms will enter into the marketplace in order to get the additional profits and to get additional income. Therefore, because there are no barriers of entry and exit, firms will enter the marketplace, so the supply will increase. Okay. So you can see the supply. How much does supply increase? It increases until the point of the line that the price 2, okay, the P2. P2 is the price level at which firms would then increase at, causing therefore supernormal profits to decrease. And so therefore in the short run, supernormal profits exist, and subnormal profits also exist in perfectly competitive market structures. However, in the long run, market structures always goes back to breaking even. Why is that? Is because of barriers of entry, the lack of barriers of entry and the lack of barriers to exit. Okay, so as we have known, when there are profits within industry, firms are incentivized to enter the industry in order to gain profits. And when there are losses within the industries, firms are encouraged to leave the industry in order to minimize losses. And seeing as how in a theoretical model of perfect competition, there are no barriers of entry and to exit, and barriers to entry as well as barriers to exit, therefore firms are allowed to freely enter and exit the market based on their income and based on their returns on investments. Causing barriers of entry and exits causes additional and supernormal profits and subnormal losses to be demolished, causing the break-even point to occur in the long-term scope. Okay, that's illustration of the perfectly competitive market structure. I hope this video